Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stop. Go over there with mommy. Stop. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Let's pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Shalom, Jay. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. Peace, Akron, man. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they will testify of me. And you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come by Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, Brother Marvin, man. Shalom, Mika. Let's come over here to John chapter 6, verse 53. Shalom, Eric, man. Then Yahushua said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the son of Adam and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Whoso eat my flesh and drink my blood have eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is meat indeed, my blood is drink indeed. He that eat my flesh and drink my blood dwell in me, and I in him. As the living Abba have sent me, and I live by Abba, so he that eat me, even he shall live by me. This is that bread which came down from Shamayim, not as your Abbas did eat manna and are dead, but he that eateth this bread shall live forever. These things said he in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. Many therefore of his disciples, when they heard this, said, this is a hard saying, who can hear it? When Yahushua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, do this offend you? And if you shall see the son of Adam ascend up where he was before, it is the Ruach that make alive. The flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak unto you are Ruach and are life. But there are some of you that believe not. For Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him. And he said, therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Abba. Come on and give me Zechariah 4:1.
And the Malachim that talked with me came again and waked me as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, what see you? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick, all gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and 7 lamps thereon, the 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top thereof, and 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right of the bowl, and the other upon the left of the bowl thereof. So I answered and spake to the Malachim that talked with me, saying, what are these, my Lord?
What are these, my Lord?
And the Malachim that talked to me answered,
my Lord,
me, know you not that what these be? And I said, no, my Lord.
You read verse 4 already? Verse 6?
Come on, verse 6 right now.
Come on.
Then he answered and spake unto me, saying,
what?
This is the word of Yahuah unto Zerubbabel, saying,
what he said?
Not by might,
nor
by power,
but
by my Ruach,
saith Yahuah. Let's read John 1. What's happening, Nate, man? Let's read John 1 and 7 on the house. We talked about that last week. Or Wednesday, I'm sorry. Don't mind her. Shalom, Brother Robert.
Say the same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which light every man that come into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Elohim, to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh.
Not by what?
Not of blood.
Not what else?
Nor of the will of the flesh.
Not what else?
Nor of the will of man, but of Elohim.
I see that, and that's the part that we were getting on about us the Ruach that Quicken, because it's not about your blood, it's not about your flesh, it's not about what man wants, it's what God wants. Meaning you'd have to be born of God. Now, before I get to Isaiah chapter 11, I do want to do this. Go to Luke chapter 3, man, verse 35. Let's rock that. After that, Genesis 2 and 7, John 20 and 20. If I'm not mistaken, you can make it 19. So let's throw this away, right? Why I just say it on the first one? Luke 3 and 35, Genesis 2 and 1, 1 Corinthians 15 and 37, and what's the last one I said? I said something else. I remember in a second. Maybe Job 14. It's some stuff in Job 14 I won't. In John chapter 20 and verse 19. So those are what we finna hit. Maybe not in that order. But come on with the first one, man.
Which was of Saruk,
this is Luke chapter 3, verse 35.
Which was of Saruk, which was of Regal, which was of Phalet, which was of Heber, which was of Salah, which was of Canaan, which was of Arphaxad, which was of Shem, which was of Noah, which was of Lamech, which was of Methuselah, which was of Enoch, which was of Jared, which was of Malaleel, which was of Canaan, which was of Enos, which was of Seth, which was of Adam.
Which is of who?
Adam, which was of Elohim.
Paul. Now, we come to this here because we had this conversation early this morning. And it was funny because in this conversation, my man was trying to explain something. He don't believe in the word in the sense that we do. He believes in more in a metaphysical type of way. But he was talking to somebody who's an Old Testament person. Now, for those of you who don't know, I only be in really one room on Clubhouse. And it's a mix of people who believe different things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know how to have conversations with people who believe different things. You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of people, and we talked about it plenty of times before, people fall out with people because they believe different things. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't care. You know what I'm talking about? Hell, I don't give a damn if a nigga don't believe what I'm saying. Like, I don't care. I'm not that emotionally invested. You know what I'm talking about? People be emotionally invested. Like, people be on, like, and I'm just saying it because there's some type of contention going on. I seen the video last night, but I drew disinterested in watching its conclusion. 10 minutes in, it was an hour long. I knew I wasn't gonna watch all that. But it's beef with people who saying if Yahushua pre-existed. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all don't be privy to those type of conversations, but people do have you have people who do not believe that he pre-existed. What do it mean by that? That he was not there at the foundation of the world. And then I got some understanding on people's understanding when it comes to, like, when we say the Lord is in the Old Testament, we talking about his witness. You know what I'm saying? But I learned today that a lot of people, when they say he in it, they talking about like he was actually physically there. Like, I didn't know people believe, Peace Brother Omar, that he was Solomon. I knew some people saw certain angels and they were like, that was him. So now I understood why there would be confusion with other people when we would have conversations. And when we say he's in the Old Testament, we're saying his witness is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he say search the scriptures, for in them, Shalom, Sister Kelly. Yeah, I don't even know if they were talking about reincarnation per se. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm familiar with that. It just a light bulb went off when they were just. Tell her I said thank you. Thank you, Leah. I'm trying, like I said, like it just a light bulb went off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what a lot of people. Shalom, Mother Sharona. That's what a lot of people believe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't. I'd be confused because sometimes, you don't necessarily press people on what it is they believe. But then sometimes when people say certain things, it give you insight. Like, okay, this is why they talk like that. See, I learned something yesterday that I didn't even know because one of the sisters would be in the room. She was talking about Reformed theology. Sorry, just pick it up. She was talking about Reformed theology, which is a Christian thing, because she said she was married to a man who, and they was like, in Reformed theology, you do not expressly confess in the Trinity, then you can't be saved. You're going to hell, and they can't have anything to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And then we were having a conversation about some of that stuff we discussed, like, once you get the spirit, will you lose it? Then the third, because they having that debate. That's more of a Christian conversation. And then it came into a lot of the talking points from that doctrine come from Calvinism. I'm not too familiar with Calvinism. You know, we talked about it, I've read about it, I didn't care. But they have something called tulip and all this stuff that they be breaking down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only mentioning this because this is a part of what Paul said, I become all things, because you're going to try to reach them according to what it is that they believe. Not that you're going to go along with what they believe or parrot what they believe, but you can't effectively minister to somebody if you don't necessarily even understand their point of view. And it doesn't matter. See, a lot of people feel like they have to agree with somebody. You know what I'm saying? I would hope that y'all would know. I think most of y'all know that who've been around here, that if there's a question or anything, you could ask it right then. We could deal with it right then. If you say, hey, I don't see that like that, explain to me why you see it like that. We could do that. You're supposed to be able, you know why we could do that? Because we could go in the book of Acts and we can see them doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? See, it's only now on the internet where niggas be having beef and they feel like they got to fall out and call niggas wicked and say you left the truth and all this extra stuff. And we were talking about it, you know, everybody in the word didn't always have the same doctrine. At least you see that in the New Testament. You don't really see that in the Old too tough. You know what I'm saying? About different sects and doctrines and stuff. That's not really detailed like that. Historically, from what we can see, that kind of started when they came out of Babylon. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see that biblically. That's going to be in extra biblical sources that you kind of see that process started happening when they came out of Babylon. So I'm just mentioning that if anybody was ever confused, when we say he's in the volume of the book, we mean that it's testifying of him. You know what I'm saying? If that wasn't clearly explained when we dealt with that part of the spirit last week, it's testifying of him. You know what I'm saying? It's only a few spots where we can say, you know, that was him. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, what's up, Alyssa? Come on to Genesis 2. Come on.
Thus Shamahim and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. Mm-hmm. And Elohim baruched the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. These the generations of Shamahim and of the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahuah Elohim made the heavens and the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Yahuah Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground.
What the man to work the ground?
But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And Yahuah Elohim formed man, the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And
Paul, tell him what breath of life is there, man. On the house. Dwayne Jamal, what are you doing?
Breath is Neshama.
Remember, Neshama is the same word that's in Job 32 that we looked at on Wednesday.
Life is Kai.
And which is life, or the Neshama Kai, the breath of life, if you would. The Ruach of life. Continue.
The man became a living soul.
So now this is going to be different, of course, you know, when we get to Corinthians. But do me a favor, because I mentioned what I mentioned before we read that, because we were talking about Genesis 3 and 15. And I learned something today. I did not know that people believe that when they say enmity between the woman's seed and the serpent seed, that they actually believe that that means that man actual hatred for actual snakes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I didn't know that people held that position. I had never heard that until this morning. Genesis 3 and 15.
And I'll put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, you shall bruise his heel.
Shalom, Sister Rose. So now he said he'll put enmity between who?
You and the woman, and between your seed and her seed.
The woman's seed and the serpent seed. So when we have this conversation, and I mentioned that part about Madal running this down, I want you to go to Genesis 5 and 1. All this going to be relevant to what we're going to be discussing spirit-wise. Why we read Genesis 2, why we read Luke chapter 3, and then we just going to, matter of fact, give me Genesis 4 and 25 before you do that. But yeah, I had because he was like, you know, seed is Zerah. So then he was like, no, it's literal snakes. I'm like, and I wasn't being funny. I didn't know. I knew snakes lay eggs, but I'm like, do snakes ejaculate? Brother told me that some type of snakes do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't know if it's enmity between the serpent seed and them, because I don't think everybody hates snakes. Matter of fact, tell them what enmity means right there, because enmity is a strong word. Remember we talked about that when you say you don't like somebody? Like, that's hatred. And I mention that because ain't nobody important enough for you to hate them if they have not actually like done something to you of an egregious nature or done you or your family physical harm. There's no human being on this earth that is worth that much emotional investment. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead.
That's a bar, enmity, hatred, hostility.
Now, you're going to have hatred and a hostility. My question is, how could the serpent have hostility with man? Do serpents have that level of consciousness to be able to do that? When the books say that animals are like, have no understanding? I don't know, you know. It was an interesting take. Like I said, never heard it before. So keep that in mind about the enmity between the woman seed and the serpent seed. Genesis 4:25.
And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For Elohim have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
Appointed me another what?
Another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
Go ahead.
And to Seth, to him also there was born a son.
Go ahead.
And he called his name Enos. Then began men.
Called his name who?
Enos.
Come on with it.
Then began men to call upon the name of Yahuah.